Hi, thank you for tuning in to the MACHVISION quarterly report. This report will be presented by Chairman Colin Wang and our President Jasper Chen. Jasper will be covering the first part of the 2019 annual report, and Mr. Colin Wang will cover the 2020 goal and forecast. So as you can see, here is our 2019 revenue. The pink bar indicates the first half of the year, and the red bar indicates the second half of the year. In 2019, our sales results were 2.5 billion. Compared to 2018, we sold 18.2% less. Now, let's take a look at our EPS performance. In 2018, our EPS was 30.43. And in 2019, our EPS was 20.01. We'd like to start by reviewing our sales results. Besides, the macroeconomic environment was not favorable, we knew going into 2019 that it was going to be challenging. And we devised a series of measures to address the challenges. However, there were three areas where we fell short. Looking at the 2019 first half performance, the pink bar, 1.5 billion, one can see that we actually performed better than 2018. However, if you look at our second half, 1 billion, we obviously fell short on performance. Semiconductor and wafer packaging performed worse than we anticipated. We didn't add more customers in the pipeline during the development, and that was a shortcoming. Second, our plan to expand our international market fell short of our expectation. The international market didn't take off as we expected, as we planned. Third, our rollout plan for smart camera were met with some challenges that were not originally anticipated. Our Chairman Colin will further explain how we will address these three areas for improvements in 2020. In the next slide, we will discuss the gross margin for 2018 and 2019. Our gross margin in 2018 was 70%, and our 2019 gross margin was 64%. Especially our gross margin in the second half was especially challenging. One of the reasons, as mentioned earlier, our customer pipeline was not large enough. In China, competition for business was very fierce at the time, and we had to make modification to our offerings, which had to sacrifice some margin. However, in 2019, between Q1 and Q2, we saw this trend and we made changes to our product offerings. For 2020, we will focus on the 5G marketplace with better margin, whether it be substrate or substrate-like PCB, semiconductor, and wafer packaging, or smart camera products. We will all make our margin better. This concludes my presentation for 2019, and our Chairman Colin Wang will continue our presentation for the 2020 outlook. Thank you, Jasper, for bringing us up to date with our performance. Hello, everybody. Please allow me to recap what Jasper had presented. In 2018, we saw 2019 will be difficult. So we started a joint venture in China to focus on local SME customers. We also wanted to start the smart camera business and expand our international market in Korea. However, these efforts we made in 2019 were met with resistance, including the Sino-US trade tension causing us not to perform as originally expected. However, thank God, this was only a delay, not the end. All the preparations we made in 29, including our international expansion, our China's local SME market development, as well as our smart camera rollout, will all continue to strengthen in 2020. Also, thanks to the Sino-US trade war, it delayed the 5G rollout. This delay allowed us the opportunity to catch up with our 5G solution offerings. Had 5G rolled out in 2019, we would not be ready for those demands. 5G was delayed for 2 quarters, or 6 months. With the additional 6 months, this allowed us to play catch-up and offer a complete solution for the 5G market. And we have a better grasp on the 5G market opportunity. Next, we will move on to our 2020 forecast. First, we will cover the first half of 2020. Everything I share today will be focused on the new opportunities in the market. I will not discuss what we are already doing. The things that we're already growing, it's already growing. All the business we've been doing, we will continue to grow in those areas. However, I would like to discuss our new growth opportunities in 2020, which was not part of the offerings that we had in the past. The first opportunities will be led by the 5G opportunities. New PCB opportunities will be covered later. The second opportunity will be led by Mini LED. I believe Mini LED will start slowly. I believe we can expect growth to start in second or third quarter of this year. We are well prepared for this opportunity. Third, we'll be focused on edge computing. This is our smart camera solution, which was supposed to start last year, but we will see growth this year. And fourth, we will focus on wafer packaging. This is a 100% inspection solution. We are moving into an era of 100% inspection instead of spot checking. I will focus on each opportunity in the later slides. In our second half of 2020, we have 2 new market opportunities. Today, I will cover the first half of 2020 and what we expect to offer in the second half of 2020. In the 5G related PCB offerings, we see demands coming from SLP, or also known as substrate-like PCB. Substrate, high layer count server board, will grow, and flexible PCB will grow. These are some of the growth area we can expect for 5G related PCB growth. As you can see, to the right side of the table, all the check marks are solutions we could offer if it was in 2019. And the X marks solutions, which indicates either it did not contribute to our bottom line in the past or the solutions were not available. Earlier, I started with a joke that I'm thankful for the Sino-US trade war because it delayed the 5G market and allowed us the time to play catch up. This year, we were able to provide solutions to those products, which we did not have solutions for. If 5G wasn't delayed, we would not have a solution for the 5G PCB market. The delay in 5G rollout allowed us time to create these solutions. The reason why we believe 5G will help our business growth is because of these additional solutions we've developed for the 5G market. The second opportunity is the smart camera I had mentioned we were going to start last year. We are already seeing sales in first quarter of 2020. Last year, I never told the market what the camera will be used for. As you can see, we have 2 models for the smart camera. The first camera is for alignment. In manufacturing, you need alignment for everything. SMT, AOI, high precision manufacturing needs alignment. Semiconductor, LCD, screen printing, these all needs alignment. In the past, factories would buy existing cameras and develop a solution for alignment, or buy some off-the-shelf solution which is very expensive. The solutions we offer would disrupt the entire market with high value add. This is what the camera is built for, which I did not disclose in our last shareholders meeting. The second camera you see is a general purpose camera. This is for simple measurement and inspection function. If you are not familiar with this market, it's okay. All you have to do is take a look at MACHVISION and Cognex. These are our potential competitors. These smart cameras are our entry to edge computing. To explain edge computing in industrial manufacturing, it is not feasible to upload all the images to a centralized locations for processing. That takes up too much memory, it takes up too much processing time, it takes too much loading time. We use the camera with built-in AI to discern images that needs to be uploaded into central location for verification. We do image processing at the edge on the camera. What we do is not commercial CCTV edge computing. Instead, we focus our solution on industrial manufacturing edge computing. We want to focus on Industrial 4.0 solutions. Alignment solutions, measurements, and general purpose camera is our first foray into edge computing for industrial solutions. We will continue and build new solutions using camera and edge computing. We cannot yet disclose the details of these new product lines, but will make them available as they are being released in the market. Once again, I'd like to emphasize smart camera is our first entry into edge computing, and more solution will be built around edge computing in the future. Without the hardware expertise for edge computing, then it can only be a software company. MACHVISION is poised to be a total solution provider, not just a software company. This is a major step in the development of MACHVISION. Besides smart camera, we also offer lighting solutions, motion equipments, and peripherals. We want to be a turnkey solution provider to our customers. Third is our wafer packaging solution. In the past, wafer packaging has always been spot checking. Reason for spot checking is because equipment is very expensive and checking speed is slow, so it is unfeasible to buy enough equipment to do 100% inspection, because that would take too much money and too much floor space. Currently, the largest wafer packaging companies use MACHVISION as their solution provider. With our footprint in the wafer packaging, MACHVISION started to develop a 100% inspection solution for wafer packaging. To achieve this goal, we also have to make sure that the solution being offered needs to be affordable and adds value to the manufacturing cycle. We're pleased to announce that we have achieved a solution that is 3 times faster than any solution on the market, and the value we bring is at least 5 to 6 times more than what is currently available in the market. With this solution, it is now possible to move from spot checking to 100% inspection and increase efficiency. I'm saying this today so that all the design house can learn about this new solution offering that is available, so they can recommend to their customers and start doing 100% inspection for wafer packaging. We're not showing the actual product pics today because we're still finishing up with some aesthetics touch-up. So we're showing instead an illustration of the actual product picture. Fourth is our PCB Mini-D LED solution. In this solution, we're not doing quality check after packaging. We're focused on the PCB made for Mini LED. The key for PCB used for Mini LED is there are many nodes on the PCB to mount crystals. If there is only a couple of nodes that are defective, this will be a huge problem causing low quality issue. To inspect PCB, we must inspect the size and position of each node and AVI inspection. As an example, everything you see here in the diagram will be mounted with the LED crystal. They must ensure every node is aligned properly. MACHVISION used its measuring technology and applied it into Mini LED inspection solution. Besides measuring, it also needs AVI to inspect for residue and scratches. Currently, there is only a handful of companies providing measurements and only a handful that does AVI inspection. However, MACHVISION is the only one that provides a 2-in-1 solution. Now, I'd like to move on to our second half of 2020. In this slide, I'd like to announce 2 new markets for MACHVISION. I can't give too much details on these 2 new markets. What I can say is, one of these markets is still a PCB related market, but not AOI related. It is a PCB testing solution in the manufacturing cycle, but it is not an AOI solution. I hope I didn't make it more confusing after this explanation. We estimate this market to be approximately 5 billion New Taiwan dollar annually. This solution has 2 products. One will be focused on substrate solution, and the other solution will be focused on flexible PCB. Our customers are pushing us to develop this solution because they need alternative solution to what they currently have. To make this happen, we have included 4 other companies, 3 of which are also publicly traded companies. Together, we will develop this solution and bring to market. We aim to bring this solution to market by the first half of the year, so we can start offering this solution in the second half of 2020. Our second market is another brand new market. While it is still an AOI solution, but it is not in the PCB market. It is also a 5 billion New Taiwan dollar market. We believe currently there is only one player in the market, and we believe our solution will be a superior solution than the current product in the market. We've been developing this concept for the better part of 2019, and we started actively developing solution toward the second half of 2019, and we believe the solution will be available in second half of 2020. Now, due to the coronavirus situation, I really don't want to keep this meeting too long, and will conclude my presentation here. I'd like to open the floor for questions, and I wish everybody a great year and health and prosperity. Now, we have an upcoming news press release meeting, so if you have questions, please ask now, because our time will be limited after the meeting concludes. Here are some questions collected prior to the meeting. There are questions regarding the coronavirus. This is also something we had discussed earlier today at the TPCA meeting. For MACHVISION, we currently cannot conclude if it is going to have a material impact on our business. Our concern is if custom border is closed, will our machine deliver on time? Will installation be delayed and impacted? We have created 2 teams for our service team, so we won't be completely down if one team is impacted with the virus. We also took the liberty to check the most recent update. There are two numbers here we focus on. First is confirmed cases and suspected cases. We are especially concerned with the suspected cases because all of these cases will soon be confirmed. There are currently 23,260 suspected cases that has not been added to the confirmed cases. Let's assume 80% will be confirmed. We want to see the suspected cases number drops. If it drops, that means the infection rate is dropping. We are praying daily that the suspected cases will continue to drop, while the confirmed cases will rise. That is okay. As long as the suspected cases are dropping, that means the epidemic is under control. We started monitoring the coronavirus before Chinese New Year, and our colleague had been very vigilant in the development. So the second question is related to the Mini LED, which I had already briefed earlier. If you haven't seen Mini LED, this is an amazing technology. I've seen a 138-inch Mini LED in a friend's factory. A 4K by 4K resolution can already show image in amazing details. My friend told me the TV is sold for $120,000 US. But as a friend and family, he can do $60K for me. I didn't buy it because my home is not big enough for a 138-inch TV. But if it was cheaper, maybe I'll consider. I believe this will be an amazing market once we go into mass production. And then there's a third question is related to substrate. Substrate is a beneficiary of 5G market. Substrate is no longer a Taiwan-only business. We're actually seeing new entry in China by companies that had not been in the substrate market before, but they are being lured into the market due to the 5G demands. And the fourth question here is on our new stock offerings. We want to increase 5% of our stock, around 2,500 stocks. We want to make sure we don't dilute too much of our shareholders' holding. We believe most of our stockholders will be pleased with this decision. I cannot yet disclose the stock offering price because we have not yet concluded on discussion points with our board. However, we want to make sure we control the dilution not to adversely affect our shareholders. It is always our goal to maximize the return of our shareholders, and we believe this round of capital raise through stock issuance will also support our policy in maximizing our shareholders' value. The purpose of this capital raise is for our factory expansion. We want to make sure we have enough capital for market expansion. Our dividend policy remains unchanged. We like to reward our current shareholders with the profit generated from the same year. With this policy, that limits our ability to use cash reserves for market expansion. Instead, it requires us to do capital raises through stock issuance. The benefit and result generated from the capital raise will be enjoyed by the new and existing shareholders. Of course, some companies choose to withhold dividends to finance their market expansion endeavors, but that means shareholders have to be a long-term shareholder to enjoy the benefit of market expansion. While we like the idea of shareholders being a long-term shareholder with MACHVISION, we also recognize that shareholders also need to see results now. This is the reason MACHVISION adopted the philosophy that we will conduct capital raise for the current year, and it's the shareholders who bought in on the capital raise and those shareholders who choose to stay with MACHVISION that will participate in the benefit of our market expansion endeavors. So the next question is related to government mandates for coronavirus-related time off for caretakers. Government policy is broken down to two parts. For government, employees can have up to 7 paid days for caretaker with kids under 12 years of age. For private enterprises, it is for the private enterprise to decide if it should be a paid or not paid leave. For MACHVISION, we will have up to 7 full paid days to caretakers taking care of kids under the 12 years of age. From 8 to 14 days, it will be a half paid days for caretakers with kids under 12 years of age. If more than 14 days, our HR team will step in to see if there are additional assistance we can provide to help families to overcome this illness. I want to apologize for my earlier presentation. I didn't properly explain about our industry jargon related to bump, AOI, AVI, and LV. As a professor in the past, I should have explained better. So in our industry, bump is the solder ball bump on substrate. It is the little bump that we need to measure after it is soldered onto the substrate. AOI is the circuit inspection. AVI is related to appearance inspection, and LV is not a leather bag. It means laser via. In LV, we dominate this market. When we first started this, we kept calling our product name micro via inspection machine, but we couldn't sell this product at all. One day, our board member came and explained that name, micro via inspection machine, sounds horrible. It sounded like, don't buy this again in Taiwanese. The board member joked, this is why it doesn't sell. I later changed the name to laser via machine, and the board members say, this is a great name, because now it sounds like you can buy in Taiwanese. And we've been selling this like hotcakes since. This is a joke, of course, but we are dominating this market with the laser via inspection machines. In the crowd, another question was raised. The person asked, can you share with us on what our revenue will look like for 2020? Mr. Collins' answer was, we're currently comparing our benchmark to 2018. We have more product offering in 2020, and we think it would be a good to benchmark us against 2018. The reason is, 2018 was a year where we sold PCB. In 2019, because we thought that the market was going to be horrible, and it was, that we started setting up an international market, and then we also set up a business for SME in China, the smaller companies, and with the lower price points in China. And with all of this, and we also started the smart camera business. And with all three of these in 2019, it didn't help because the market was worse than we thought. And then also some of the product didn't take off in 2019. But in 2020, not only we have the PCB market, which also is now fueled by the 5G growth. And then we also have all of these markets that we've been building in 2019. And in addition, we have the 2 brand new markets in 2020. So we do believe that 2020 is going to be a year where we can benchmark against the 2018. Now, after this, another question was raised that our mainland customer, once China reinstate working in factories, will worker return for work? And Mr. Collin answered, We've had an earlier meeting at TPCA today, and we also discussed this issue. TPCA will issue an official statement, and I cannot comment on their behalf. But we pray that the suspected cases will start to fall and put an end to the coronavirus epidemic. After Mr. Collin answered that question, another question was raised. I've heard many factories with the Taiwan management staff have concerns about returning to China for work Will MACHVISION face the same issue? Mr. Collin answered, we have over 100 local staff in China, of which only one Taiwan staff is there. Our management for PCB market is a local mainland staff whom also oversees our Taiwan business, so we will not be impacted. In addition, our solution can be serviced over Telnet, so it reduces the need for physical presence at the location. One more question was posed. Going back to the smart camera solution, will we also offer an AXI solution, where AXI means automated X-ray inspection? Mr. Collin answered, we do not provide AXI solution. We currently only provide alignment and general purpose solution. AXI is what happens after the alignment is being done.